Hey everybody, DCT here, recording on a higher, better piece of equipment. That's right, I don't have a new camera, I got a new phone. Hopefully, I'm doing this at night, so my lighting's not perfect, because I usually use this window right next to me here. But I know the quality is a lot better. This is what I used on my live stream. I'm sorry about that. Someone just kept calling in, and it was the same person calling in on 50 different phones, you know? So that really got me mad. And then after I finished, they called and said, hey, it was me just calling on one phone, well, 50 phones, same person, you know, just letting you know your channel sucks, so I don't even care. So now we're talking about...
That?
What?
They said that?
Yep. I blocked their number, but, you know. The number will change for the next live stream. That way, hopefully they don't call back. And also, that way I'm not going like that the whole video.
Yeah, and that way we can actually get it done.
Yep. I just couldn't because that one person, you know, just... Alright, so... Now that I've ranted a little bit, we're talking about playoffs. That's right, we're talking about playoffs. Even though America's team isn't in them, but, what the heck. Oh, man. What is your take on this week's playoffs? On what has happened?
They were very interesting. Other than the, Patriots blowout there. They were, which we all expected them to get blown out anyway, but they were extremely interesting. You had the Jags and the Steelers. That was an interesting one. Very competitive. You had the Saints and the Vikings. Another one that was extremely fun to watch.
I forget who I picked for that.
The Eagles and the Falcons. You picked the Saints for that one.
I did?
I picked the Vikings, yeah.
Oh, I thought I picked the...
No. And then the Eagles and the Falcons, another extremely interesting one to watch. It was definitely really fun to watch that game. Not as fun as the other two I mentioned.
The Falcons game. Falcons, let's start off with that Falcons-Eagles game. Man, Falcons easily should have won that game. They just had terrible, terrible play calling all the way through.
I think that's something to do with it. I don't think they should have been able to easily win the game.
Well, probably not like a
Even
blowout,
without
but
Carson Wentz. Nick Foles played very well. And they just have a good overall team anyway. So, a good defense, a good offense, just... They have a good team overall. So, I don't think that it should have been a blowout either way. I mean, Nick Foles against Atlanta, in the playoff game, he had 246 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Ooh.
So, obviously, they got the run game going pretty well there in the red zone, which is what you're supposed to do. No crazy plays. It was pretty conservative.
Yeah.
But he didn't throw any interceptions, so
that's good.
he threw a decent amount of yards. So I think people aren't giving him enough credit that he deserves, because I think he should be able to at least help out this team. Because this team's great by itself. You could have it. So if you have just an average quarterback, then you put him in there. Even a little bit below average, just put him in there, and he should be able to do somewhat of a decent job with that good O-line, good running backs, take the pressure off of him, good wide receivers, good everything. You can't... The Eagles just... Nick Foles should have been able to do well in that situation.
Right. Here's where I stand on that. The Eagles didn't win that game. The Falcons lost it, and... Here's why. I think, well, the Eagles did okay, but the Falcons they choked. They just, bad play calling all around. I didn't see any good play calling that I really said, great play calling there, coach. That was very good. I was pretty disappointed with how bad their play calling was and how good it was executed. It wasn't executed great. It was executed terrible. Believe me, I know something about executing plays terrible. I'm a fan of the Cowboys, so especially with Jason Garrett and Scott Lennon in there. So I really don't see. I didn't see the Eagles winning that game. I saw the Falcons losing it. And let me tell you, I don't see the Eagles beating the Vikings next week at all.
I have it close. I think the Vikings will pull it out of the hat, but I can definitely see the Eagles winning. If Nick Foles plays like a little bit above average, I think they could win the game. Especially since, like, Atlanta didn't even get the run game going up very strong. Devonta Freeman only had 10 attempts, 7 yards. So it's just, I don't think they did enough. They didn't spread it out enough. Matt Ryan had 210 yards with 1 touchdown. So obviously, and Tevin Coleman, their other running back, had 10 attempts with 79 yards. So they just did not do enough on offense. They have a good offense. Right. I know it matched up against a tough Eagles defense. It's obviously going to play a factor, but they just did not get anything going on offense, at least from my perspective.
No.
They just could not get first downs. They were very, very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Inconsistent, my bad. But they did not. Nick Foles played average, and the Eagles the rest of the Eagles just played how they've played all year, and I don't think the Falcons could match up to that.
No.
Even with a worse quarterback than Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Now, here's how I see it. The Eagles, average offense, average defense. Good receiver set. Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. Last year, we saw Carson Wentz was a terrible quarterback with mediocre...
Well, he didn't have as many weapons. He didn't have running backs to keep the pressure off of him.
Right.
And he didn't have anything else. Like, you saw what Dak was this year, not as good as he was last year.
And Dak this year had mediocre receivers, hardly any running back, because we never knew when Zeke was going to play in his offense.
I think Dak had a better situation this year than
Carson Wentz or Nick Foles?
Carson Wentz had last year. Just blank there. So I think definitely Carson Wentz got set in a horrible situation last year. And to be honest, I know Dallas Cowboys fans are going to be charging at me after this one, but I think Carson Wentz and Dak are actually on the same level.
I could see that.
In a fantasy draft, I would also take Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott.
What better thing do you see in Carson Wentz than you see in Dak Prescott?
Well, he's been more of a trusted throwing quarterback. There's definitely we haven't seen as much of him as we've seen of Dak, to be honest, with the injury and with like a good team, but especially in the playoffs. But he did seem clutch in the regular season. And I know playoffs are completely different than regular season, but...
Well, you give Dak some good receivers, and I think he could ball out just better than Carson Wentz. I mean, we saw it last year when Dez was in his team. Better.
If they had the same team, I think they'd be the same. I think Carson Wentz would have a little bit of an edge, but I think they'd be the same. Back to topic, though.
Yeah, that's right. We got sidetracked there talking about the Eagles, talking about Dak and Carson Wentz. But now, Eagles versus Vikings, we've covered that. Eagles versus Falcons, we've covered that. Vikings versus Saints. What are your thoughts on that crazy ending there?
Well, it's just what we've seen from Stephon Diggs.
And Case Keenum.
Case Keenum. Talk about a below-average quarterback turning up to be slightly above average. Like, especially in that game, he was clutch. He was a whole different quarterback than we've seen in previous years. Especially in this year, overall, he's been a different quarterback. But in that game, he looked great.
Yeah.
And especially with that, it's just...
What?
And their wide receiver core, they're great. All right, Adam Thielen, it's just... He's just great.
Good.
Like, talk about a team that just came out of the dark. This season has been huge for just teams that were not good last year, just coming out and being great this year.
Yeah.
So, and Stephon Diggs doing his job. I just didn't see that one coming. Like,
nope.
I saw the end of the game of that, like, the final few seconds of the game, and I'm like, oh, what is this? Like, they really think they're going to win this game. Saints won. I was about to turn my TV off, and then I saw the pass, and I was like, oh my goodness gracious. He hurdled that dude, and I was about to be like, okay, he's tackled. No, he keeps going and scores a touchdown. That's just amazing. I just talk about trying to keep your season alive.
Right. That, I don't know if you guys were here, but I was attempting to do my live stream, but that guy kept calling in. And I don't know if you heard, but I had a party downstairs going. All kinds of family members there. And as soon as they said, oh my god, he caught that, he's going, they were screaming. I'm like, oh my god, did the Vikings just pull ahead? Did the Vikings just win? Oh no, his foot was out of bounds. Oh, so his foot must have been out of bounds. No, it's good. It's a touchdown. Which one is it? Because I didn't know what was happening because I couldn't watch it. Then you sent the video to me of what actually happened. So I checked that out. Even when I was doing my live stream, that was more important than my live stream. So I went on that and looked, and I'm like,
I know. When I told you that I was going to hang up, I was going down to watch the game.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't watch it while I was talking to you.
I watched some of it, you know. I watched the first quarter, first half, you know, and we're getting way off topic here. Well, not really. We're talking about the game, but...
imagine what would happen with this team if Dalvin Cook didn't get injured. I see Dalvin Cook. I mean, this might be a little bit of my Florida State pride coming in, but I see Dalvin Cook being a top 3 running back in the next 2 years, or even next year, to be honest. But in the next 2 years, 100%.
My top 2 running backs over the next 4 years: Zeke, Cook, Johnson.
Yeah, and Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's great too.
Yeah, I'd put him in the top 5. I got Zeke, Cook, Johnson, probably Henry, and then dropping off to Le'Veon Bell because Bell is just...
He's going to start digressing pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, he already said... He already said if the Steelers, which is going to be our next topic, if the Steelers franchise tag him again, he's leaving. He doesn't want to be franchise tagged again. He either wants to get paid the big bucks or leave. Go somewhere that will pay him the big bucks.
Also, another young running back that was great this year. I know in a kind of team that kind of fell off, but Kareem Hunt, I felt like this year was just a whole new league, right? Like a bunch of these rookie running backs coming down and taking over the league.
I know that.
Really?
It looked like a bunch of Zekes running around. Well, last year Zekes run around. I'm like, wow. You know, maybe we're going back. Maybe we are going back to past football. You know, where it was running the ball and not passing as much, which is I loved seeing that. You know, just Emmitt Smith, Tony, Herschel Walker, all these little guys running around on the field, just running.
It's different. Like it's always been known in football. If the run works, the pass works. All right?
Yeah.
If you can take pressure off your quarterback, and that's why I'm saying the Vikings would be so much better if they had Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
I know they have Latavius Murray, Jared McKinnon, but blah, blah, blah. But Dalvin Cook just brings like a certain amount of intensity to that offense. And if he's taking the pressure off Case Keenum, then I don't even think the Saints would have a chance at that game. I think they would have gotten blown out. Not blown out, but probably a 2-score game by the Vikings winning.
Yeah.
So it's just insane how
one player can make a difference.
Injuries can be just crazy. Like, look at the Eagles. I think the Eagles would have won the Super Bowl if Carson Wentz didn't get injured.
I don't know about that, but yeah,
I could just, unless the Patriots stopped them. No, they're going. They won. All right, let's get back on topic though.
Well, we kind of are, but yeah. All right, who do you want to talk about next? The Patriots, or
your option, buddy?
All right, let's talk about the Patriots and the Titans.
All right.
What is your take on that?
Well, this was a blowout.
Yep.
Like I expected.
Yep. I forget which team I picked, but I pretty much knew the Patriots were going to win.
I definitely picked. I 100% picked the Patriots for this game.
I think,
and I had no. I'm pretty sure you picked the Titans actually.
I did. Oof.
Yeah,
I don't know why I did that.
But it's just.
Nope, I did pick the Pats.
You did pick the Pats? Okay.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It's just we knew this game was going to be a blowout.
Oh yeah. It's a wonder how the Titans even got into the playoffs, to be honest.
Well, Derrick Henry, Marcus Mariota played really well. They
True.
definitely got lucky last game.
Yeah.
I didn't see how the Titans were going to win that in any form, form.
Overall,
It's just
great playing by the Patriots.
Well, it's just what they've been doing all year.
Yeah,
Brady, they've got great ways to get off the great ways to pressure off Brady. Although Brady is getting a little bit trigger happy, he's now in his old age, doesn't want to get hurt or anything.
Right.
He has good older veteran wide receivers, O-linemen. It's just the Patriots. They're a great overall team.
Right.
Probably going to the Super Bowl this year.
Oh, I don't know about that. Next week they play the Jaguars, who defeated the Steelers. What is your take on that? Because I picked the Jags. I know I picked the Jags because I remember recording the video with you and one of my friends here saying, no, the Steelers are going to win. And I fought as hard as I could. I'm saying, no, the Jags are moving on.
Yeah, I did say that too. Because I remember we agreed on that one. Because coming into this, Antonio Brown hurt, that's a huge part of their offense.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the main part of their offense. Le'Veon Bell he's getting older. He's not doing as much as he used to.
Right.
He's still putting in those solid stats, but
right.
Big Ben and Le'Veon Bell, they just haven't had the intensity that we've seen from them in previous years. So I didn't see how that offense was going to get it done. Juju might have had a insane game, but still flashy. But I did not see them getting anything done on offense, and their defense is below average with or without Ryan Shazier. So no way.
Yeah.
I did not see them winning this period. Most people had the Jags as the underdogs.
Yep.
And I'm like, how is that possible?
Right.
This team is not as good as the Steelers are not as good as the Jags, just because the Jags have more depth.
And they have way better defense.
And their offense, I would take Leonard Fournette over Le'Veon Bell, even if Leonard Fournette is and Le'Veon Bell are the same age, right?
Yep.
They have better wideouts, right?
Yep.
They have better. They have a better. I don't know if I'd say better. I think both their O-lines are
about the same.
Yeah, and their quarterback is obviously not as good as Big Ben.
Well, right.
But
but their defense
with all those
is
other
killer.
assets, their offense is obviously not bad, and their defense is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
One of the best defenses in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
It's just I don't see how they were picked. Most people picked the Steelers, and I'm like, no, it just didn't make sense.
Right. And which brings us to next week, which I forget if we talked about. Did we talk at all about the Jags going up against the Patriots?
We did not.
All right, so next week we have the Jags going up against the Patriots. Who do you have coming out on top and why?
Okay, so coming out on top, Jacksonville Patriots.
Yep.
I'm going to go through the positions first. Quarterback, Tom Brady, easy win.
Yep.
They have a better quarterback, so that's 1 point for the Pats. Running back, Jags.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette, great running back. Their other running backs to help him out, great too. It's just you can't mess with the Jags on the run game. Tight end Pats, obviously. Wideouts, Allen Robinson is really good, so I'm gonna have to say. But Brandon Cooks, I just have to say Pats.
Yeah.
Their defense, obviously, the Jags are better. So I think the Jags are better, but I think the Patriots have more experience.
All right. Now, here's where you and me split ways. I totally agree on the stats.
But I can completely see the Jags winning. I want the Jags to win.
All right.
Okay. I think it's going to be a slim victory, at least by 3. Because
yeah.
I want the Jags to win. Like, I would be more happy if the Jags win than be right on this talk show.
All right. Well, here's where you and me split ways.
I know you're going with your heart, but I'm going with my brain.
I'm not going with my heart. I'm going with what I know about football and what it has taught me and what this show has taught me. I'm going to say the Jags, and here's why. They have a way better defense. Also, the Patriots' O-line isn't great. Brady has gotten sacked a lot. I think this Jags defense is going to just completely shut down the Patriots' offense.
Definitely, it's going to be hard for Brady to get good passing routes,
right.
But his receivers are fast. He might be able to get it out. Luckily,
I hate saying this, but I see
3 or 4 times.
I see this being Brady's last year because I see the Jags defense doing so good and sacking him so many times. I hate saying this. I don't ever root for players to get hurt, but I see Brady getting hurt because of how good this Jags defense is and retiring this year. I mean,
I don't think he's going to retire. No way.
Well, if he gets hurt, he's done, and I think he's gonna get hurt because I predict him getting sacked over 5 times in this game, and I think that's really gonna hurt him and put him out and say, "Hey, I don't want to do this." His wife has already came out and said that she doesn't want him playing quarterback that much longer, so that's just another reason. And I do see the Jags coming out on top because, like I said, their pass rush is amazing. I don't see their Patriots offense getting going at all. Well, same with the Jags. I see it coming out in at least a 3-point margin. Probably, I'd say 24-28, I guess. Jags winning. Jags going to the Super Bowl.
I can agree with that.
All right.
I think the Jags can easily win it if they play as good, if Blake Bortles plays good, and all of them play as good as they played against the Steelers. Better than that. I want the Jags to win. I want to make that very clear.
Jags are going to win.
I'm upset in one bit if the Jags win. I'm going to be rejoicing because I am not a Pats fan. And I don't think, if you're not a Pats fan, you don't want the Pats to win. So, but I do think the Pats are going to win.
I hope that you're wrong there. I mean,
I do too.
I like saying you're right. I really do. I like you a lot, but I hope you're wrong there. I hope the Jags win.
I hope I'm wrong too.
I hope the Jags win. And wow, this was a really fun episode. This episode went by really quick. Unfortunately, we're out of time. Go follow him on Instagram. Let's go 1933. He is coming out with a YouTube channel hopefully soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the better quality on this video. And I'll see you guys later. Peace off.
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys. Get something good in free agency. Peace.